So, welcome everyone to this Workforce Wednesday webinar. My name is Kirsten Bayer with the Illinois Center for Specialized Professional Support at Illinois State University. We thank you for joining us this afternoon. Hopefully, you all are safe and avoiding the storms. I reside in Peoria, Illinois, and it hasn't been too bad yet this afternoon. So, hopefully, you guys are able to stay connected with us and join us today. Thank you for spending the afternoon with us to talk about competency-based workplace literacy, a pilot. We are joined by Julie and Patty from Kishwaukee College. So thank you both for presenting today. Couple of housekeeping items before we get started. We do have closed captioning on for accessibility reasons or note-taking purposes. Today's webinar is being recorded. It will be on Illinois WorkNet as well as our Illinois Workforce Academy website, which I can put in the chat momentarily if you would like to save it. You will receive a follow-up email tomorrow from Zoom with the URL where you can access the recording and slides from today, as well as a follow-up survey. I help support staff that we owe a professional development committee, which has representation from all four core title partners, as well as local representation and employer representation that helps to plan the professional development that you see every Wednesday on this series. So we do welcome that feedback on the survey. We do look at it quarterly and then plan ahead with any future topics that you're interested in, as well as kind of go over how the topics that we've already presented to you have gone. So please feel free to take that survey. It's only about 5 questions now, so we've made it shorter for you all. Feel free to participate today. You can either type in the chat or the Q&A if you have questions or comments, or you can feel free to raise your Zoom hand at the end of the presentation and we will unmute you and you can have that open dialogue. So I will do our beginning Workforce Wednesday webinar polls really quickly. Let me launch those. And if you could take a couple seconds to just let us know where your local area is at today and then which partner do you best represent. We would appreciate that feedback. Again, this is for analytical purposes for the WIOA Professional Development Committee, but also for our presenters to kind of know who our audience is today. Feel free to type anything more specific in the chat if you'd like us to know a little bit more about you. Awesome. Welcome, Leah.
Oh,
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end that and share the results. Looks like we have a good span across the state. So for you Central Illinoisans, hopefully you're going to remain safe from the storms. I just got an email that ISU is going to close at 2 p.m. today. So we will tread on with today's webinar and hopefully nobody gets disconnected.
we might be done by then.
Yeah. And then we have a good span of partners, mostly Title II, which is to be expected with this topic today. So thank you for joining us. Again, I'm going to hand it off to Patty to get us started. And if anyone needs anything, I will be in the background.
Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining on this rainy Wednesday. I am Patty Ragg. I am the Director of Adult Ed and Transitions programs at Kishwaukee College. I've been in this role for about 6 years, and previously was a teacher and a curriculum developer for our programs. Julie is my partner. You want to introduce yourself really quick here?
Okay, my name is Julie Living, and I've been with Kishwaukee College in some capacity for 14 years, starting off as an adjunct instructor, and I've been in my current position of transitions and bridge specialist for 6 years. And I work mostly with our workplace literacy, and then also do distance learning for our GED prep classes. And then I do whatever Patty asks me to do. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't let her fool you into thinking she doesn't do anything because she's my right hand. I would not be able to do everything that without her. So Julie also is part of our Bridge and Transitions programs, and that is obviously it's something that we all with the workplace literacy and workforce development pieces of our programming, it's very important. So basically, I'm going to just give you a little bit of a heads up on how we came about doing a workplace literacy in the first place, but also how it kind of transformed into a competency-based program. We have, do you want to switch the slide, Julie?
Yeah.
So we have been with the company that we work with right now. We have been partners with them in some capacity for upwards of 15 years. Um, is it not working?
Oh, it didn't go?
No.
Okay, well, it has frozen.
Sorry. Well, anyway, Suter Company is a company in Sycamore. They are a food manufacturing facility, and it has grown from their since like 1925, I believe. They've been around a very long time. They had their 100-year anniversary last year, and they've been something to do with chicken and eggs throughout the whole capacity of their programs and their employment. So we have worked with them in probably the last 15 years in their development of their employees and also just learning English. A lot of their employees come from other countries, mostly Spanish speaking, but there are other countries involved as well, and then American English speakers as well. So
Okay.
they're a big part of their employee staff are Spanish speakers, and so we have developed a relationship with helping teach English to their employees. As we progress through the years, we've also done Spanish GED and Spanish for the workplace. Trying to think of all the others. It's on the slide, so I apologize.
I apologize. I am having trouble with this. It froze on me, so I'm going
Yeah.
to reopen here.
Technical issues are always fun, aren't they? So anyway, I'm just trying to give you a background knowledge of what Suter Company does. Our partnership has always been on an as needed basis. There was never a set in stone like every fall, every spring, every fall, every spring. We kind of go with the flow and help them when they have a big need. Part of the workplace literacy development over the years has been to just provide what they need at their company, but we have had many opportunities for them to ask us, hey, could you teach even something like Microsoft products and things like that? So Kishwaukee College in general has really developed a business partnership with them as well. So just go ahead and go from the next slide.
Okay,
So as we try to get these things to
there we
work.
go.
All right. So since 2010, we've been partners with them. And then these are some of the other classes that we've offered. Basic computer skills, ESL, math skills, Excel, PowerPoint Publisher, intro to marketing, business writing, workplace Spanish, and then other computer development like Microsoft and or Google products that are available. So
So there's the
1925, I was right, because they had their 100th-year anniversary. So they started out distributing eggs, and as they started their production processes, their need to have more employees obviously increased. And as they were opening up the development of their production lines, they have moved on to like entree salads, refrigerator salads, and then specialty things that have been since their new offices opened in 2020. That was a big development. Their facility is enormous now, and so they have two facilities in the DeKalb Sycamore area. All right. So as we previous years, the last couple of years, we offered English second language to their employees. We would have classes in the evening after the first shift most of the time. We've tried offering a class during the day so that the second shift people can come in, but it just hasn't worked out. We just don't get as good of a turnout. So we try to offer different ways, and we speak with their managers or dream managers. Those are the people that help them with their professional development and their senior leadership. And we try to figure out ways to make it fresh and exciting so that the students can, or the employees can have just something, to help them develop their English and also develop their skills. So this last summer, we were kind of approached by Kang Hee about having a workplace literacy competency-based program. And I was like, well, you know what? It wouldn't be that hard to talk to them about it. Maybe we can refresh our workplace literacy program with them and see if there's anything else that they are looking to offer their employees. And so we sat in a big conference room and just discussed with them some of the topics and skills that they would like to see. And they were kind of shocked that we would ask that we would provide something like that to them. And I'm like, well, times are changing, skills are needed. It's necessary to learn new things. And as they are learning English, we also want them to have opportunities to earn other types of certificates or micro credentials that will help them in future jobs. So Julie and I kind of sat with them in a big room and talked to about 4 or 5 of their senior leadership and HR team, dream managers, they're called. And that was how we came up with these topics. So we asked basically what they would like to see their employees learn and the skills that they would like to develop. They were in the process in their 100th year of developing new processes at their company, but also trying to follow the lean manufacturing program. And that involves a lot of things in teaching the employees how not to be wasteful, how to manage time, how to communicate, how to talk, how to make sure that they understand why processes have to happen. And then the other areas that we talked about were safety and computer literacy, so digital skills that they need. Many of their HR staff have to help them with all of their onboarding and their insurance and their timesheets and things like that. So those digital skills became a really important aspect of our micro credentials and learning how to communicate. And then, in the meantime, as we were discussing more and more when we were going to start classes and developing the curriculum, we just decided that we would try to find ways for the students to earn micro credentials. That gives them the opportunity to have a piece of paper that says, I know this, how to do this skill. And they found that to be a really, really great way to motivate students, but also that they could take that piece of paper and say to any employer, including them, that they had that skill. And so Julie and I just kept meeting with them, and Julie was really the integral partner through Kish to meet with Jackie, who is the dream manager there that works with the students mainly and helps them sign up for courses. And then we just developed a program. And the 3 areas we covered were lean manufacturing, safety, and digital skills. So I'm going to pass it over to Julie. I'm sorry about the screen. For some reason, it won't let us forward. But we'll send this to Kirsten.
It's still not forwarding?
No, well, it is now, but it's not exactly forwarding on the whole screen. It's split screen.
Yeah, it's the split. Okay.
So we'll send this video on to Kirsten after the meeting, and she can upload it into the program that you guys have. All right, Julie, you take it.
Okay, so after meeting with senior leadership and the dream managers, I worked with the specific people in charge of lean manufacturing and safety at the Suter Company. And we had registration on site, 15 students registered. should back up. We decided early on that it would be for higher levels of ESL. We decided levels 4 and up would be appropriate for this class, at least for the pilot. 15 students registered. 2 of them had to drop out pretty much right away, but we had 13 that remained in the class. The class was set up twice a week for 2 hours after a 10, anywhere between an 8 and a 12-hour shift for the employees. The only requirements, they had to be an employee of the Studer Company because it was held at their site. We wanted a level 4 on the CASAS STEP reading assessment or any score on the CASAS reading goals assessment. And we did a pre-test, 40 hours of instruction, and a post-test. So the materials that I used in the class were on the left side of the screen there. I was given information on lean manufacturing that the Studer Company used and what they did as an orientation to lean manufacturing for all of their employees. And then their safety information, they chose some topics. For example, like they wanted me to cover personal protective equipment and the different like hazard symbols and symbols. So used what they gave me and then went online and got some more information and things like that. And then the computer literacy components, I found digitallearn.org, which is amazing if you've not seen it before. It is completely free. It is based with, or I'm sorry, AT&T sponsors it through libraries, and it gives a whole slew of options from very basic, like how to turn on the computer, to more advanced things like using PowerPoint and doing animations and transitions and things like that. So it comes with the PowerPoint presentation, which you can adapt and change. It has worksheets, it has handouts that you can adapt. It's free, which was perfect. Budgets are very tight, so free is always good. And it also has some of the materials available in Spanish. So if you are doing a class that is more of a bilingual workplace literacy, you don't have to sit down and spend hours translating. It's there for you.
One quick interruption. Julie, there is a display setting right above the thing. Do you see where it says display setting?
Mm-hmm.
Will that let you make it a bigger screen?
I don't know.
Wow.
Yay, thank you.
Yeah,
Much
I just
better.
realized it. Sorry about that.
Thank you. Zoom I'm still learning all the intricacies of Zoom. So I apologize that it wasn't big screen to begin with. These are the certificates that that the students were able to earn. We started off with, email basics. We had an intro to email too, so it was a little more in depth. We talked about cybersecurity with online frauds, scams, things like that. We did Microsoft 10 because that seemed to be the Microsoft level that most students were familiar with, and they wanted more. And then we did PowerPoint basics and special effects. We were going to do Excel, but we ran out of time. And then students had the opportunity to earn a certificate in the safety and lean manufacturing information that was applicable to the Studer Company. And we always give all of our students, if they obtain a level gain in their CASAS testing, we provide a certificate for that. And then we also do a lot of class completion certificates. I will state ahead of time that this class was a bilingual class. 80% was done in English. About 20% was done in Spanish for mostly clarification and that. So if they didn't understand something in English, I would repeat it in Spanish and teach some of the skills in Spanish just to make sure that they understood it. But they were expected to use English as much as possible, and only we did for lack of a better term, we used some Spanglish in our writing so that if they weren't quite sure how to write it in English, they could write it in Spanish. And it worked out pretty well. For the lean manufacturing and safety certificates that they earned, they were given the information. We had role playing, we had discussion. We did some videos and some comprehension questions on those videos. And they had a quiz at the end of each segment. So they had to receive a 70% or higher on the quiz. And then they also had to receive a 70% on a final class project, which I will get into in just a moment. So those things allowed them to earn their lean manufacturing and safety certificates. All of the computer certificates were earned by demonstrating competency through an assignment or a project. So for example, the email basics, they had to send me an email with a subject line, with a greeting, with a body, with a signature. And then for the email, intro to email 2, they had to attach a picture or attach a link and send those emails to me. And that's how they showed proficiency and competency in those areas. There were also some online modules through Digital Learn that they could complete, and they could email me the certificate. So again, they were practicing those email skills, attaching a document, things like that. And then the final project, they were to do a PowerPoint presentation. They had to choose either lean manufacturing or safety, and they had to give some background knowledge and examples of how it affects them at work or how it's used at work, but also how it is used in their home lives. So, for example, personal protective equipment. Why is it used at the suitor company? How is it used in your job? And then how do you apply personal protective equipment at home? For example, safety goggles. Why do you use that at suitor? Because you have to protect your eyes from the different chemicals that could splash or from the food that could, spill or something like that. Well, why would you use protective goggles at home? Well, if I'm cutting down a tree or working on trimming my bushes, I need to protect my eyes in case a twig comes out or a branch comes out and hits me in the face. So they had to come up with those things, and they had specific PowerPoint specifications that they had to follow in order to earn those certificates. Okay, so the discussion, I'm sorry, we did this at the Workforce Summit back in May, and we had handouts, and we did a little bit of discussion about those handouts. I will make sure to get those handouts also to Kirsten. Is it Kirsten? I'm sorry. And we'll get those to you. So if you want them, we'll make sure you have that. Our results were actually very, very good. Even though this was a bilingual class, 8 out of the 13 students, which is 62%, made a gain in their English reading proficiency based on the CASAS STEPS test or the CASAS Reading Goals test. That is 17% higher than our average for the entire program in a whole year. So for one group of students to make that gain is phenomenal. 12 out of the 13 students earned all of their micro certificates. The one student who did not, she was having a bad day on one of the quiz days for, I think it was lean manufacturing. And I gave her the option of coming back, meeting me outside of work, outside of class to take a different version of the quiz. And she didn't make the appointment. So I had to leave it where it was because we ran out of time. I think she would have done fine had she retaken it, but didn't work out. The company immediately asked for us to have a bilingual competency-based computer literacy class for this spring. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. We only had 3 people sign up for it. We were trying to do an afternoon class to allow second shift employees come in, and it just didn't work out. But we are in talks. I will be meeting with the senior leadership at Suter in the next 10 days to talk about what sort of competency based class they would like to have this fall and get the topics that they want to cover. And they're actually looking forward to working with us again. So part of what the Suter Company and we in Adult Ed wanted to do was to recognize the students for their accomplishments, because it was a big accomplishment for that many students to earn all of those micro credentials. And excuse me, my phone's ringing. To earn those micro credentials and to make those level gains. So we had the last night of class, we invited the students to bring their families to a light dinner to, to acknowledge their accomplishments, to celebrate them. And we invited the senior leadership from Suter and Kishwaukee College to attend. And we had some very, very happy students. The large picture is all of the students who attended the class. And you can see they each have a little paper where those were their final certificates and things that they had earned. And these are some things that the students said. So the first one was given to me before we had our celebration because they wanted the leadership team at Suter to know that they were very grateful for the opportunity to have classes at the company. Many felt that they would not otherwise have the ability to continue their education and learn their skills. And then one of our students, Decca Loft, she stated later that she learned to better understand how the company operates, as well as how to put into practice what she learned in the class, such as the impact of downtime on their production. And Decca Loft is a little special student. She has, after having taken this class and feeling more comfortable with the computer, she decided to, in the spring semester, in our second 8-week session, she decided to try to do the Google IT support specialist class. And she is currently working on that class to earn a certificate as an IT specialist at an entry level. And she is participating in our ICAPS support class while she's going through that. So she has said several times that without having that background and understanding and feeling comfortable with the computer, much more comfortable with the computer, that she would not have attempted this. So she's kind of our special project there, and she's doing very well. She's about halfway through the class, and I actually just met with her last week, and she's loving it. She's absolutely loving it and doing very well. So a few things why a company should have a workforce literacy, or if you as an adult ed program you don't have it, then these are some things that you might want to think about. Depending on the organization, whether it's a community-based organization or a community college, there's very minimal cost to the employer. A lot of times there's really no cost other than providing the space for the class to happen. The employees can learn English in a contextualized manner. They get more soft skills to help them become better employees, and other skills to help them succeed at their jobs, like the communication, like the understanding the policies better. It really does help them along. And this is specifically for companies. Employees or students become more confident in technical areas, but those areas are pinpointed to that company's needs. So Suter wanted more information on lean manufacturing for their employees. So that was something that they all were able to do. They are better able to communicate with their managers and supervisors, and they can become more productive workers. So those are all positive things as an adult ed program, we were able to say, this is what's going to happen when we offer these types of classes. And just a few things about how to get started. Contact your local adult education. It could be through the community college or a community-based organization, and start small. Have the companies bring in their questions to ask the adult ed program what they can provide, but be prepared to answer those same questions. What can the company provide the agency? For example, that classroom space, storage space for books or computers. Suitor Company, I have access to a small storage closet where I keep our charging cart with the computers that the students get to use every night in class. And evidently, I clicked on the wrong program or the wrong PowerPoint because I didn't have any of the videos in. So this is our contact information for Patty and for me. The PowerPoint that I will upload will have some videos attached to it. I apologize that I clicked the wrong one. It will have some videos attached that are from the dream manager, Jackie, who is our contact person at Suitor, and it will give her point of view as to processes like the collaboration to get the program together, how the students did and felt about the class as they were going through it and afterward. And then also some video from with the vice president in charge of enrichment. She will also talks about why it's important to have these classes, why it's what she saw after the students went through the class in terms of using more English at work, being more comfortable with speaking with their supervisors and the managers. And then there's one final video of one of the other students, Javier, and he talks a little bit about why he took the class and what it meant for him. And just a kind of a spoiler, he did talk about how it helped him learn more technical language. And the biggest thing he said was it made him feel comfortable enough that he could change his computer settings from Spanish language to English language. So he's now using his computer purely in English instead of in Spanish. So I apologize for not having the correct one pulled up, but I will make sure that I get that uploaded so that you will have it when all of the information comes out.
We're open to some questions if anybody would like to ask. We understand that, the storms might be causing some issues with computers too.
Yeah.
We got right before we were to go on, we got knocked out of the computer. So we're kind of scrambling a little bit, but thank you for your patience.
Yeah, thank you both so much for that information. So feel free to raise your Zoom hand and I can unmute you, or you can participate in the chat or Q&A if you have any comments or questions for Patty or Julie. Give everyone a couple minutes. Oh, we have Tanya who says, was there a cost to the employer?
The only cost to the employer was providing a room for us to have the class and to plug in the computer charging cart. There were no other costs to the employer.
I do want to talk about that option though, because there are some businesses, some employers that will pay an hourly rate if their students or their employees take a course. So don't ever leave that off the table because it could be a potential bonus to the student for taking it. And then we have heard in other programs where some of them will, at the completion of the program, they will get some type of either stipend or bonus or something for completing the class. So they may not get an hourly rate, but it might be like they get this much at the end of the class. So those are options, and they're really good options to have. We've just had a long-standing relationship with Suitor Company, and their employees really get a lot of educational opportunities, not only in financial literacy, English language, but they offer their like enrichment multiple ways. So their employees don't necessarily expect to be paid, but they have multiple opportunities every year to earn credentials. I cannot see the faces, so I am not sure where they are, like on my screen. Can you see?
Uh, no, so with it being on Zoom webinar, they do not have the
Okay.
capability to turn their cameras on, unfortunately.
Oh,
But
that's okay.
uh,
I just wondered.
okay, we
There
do
is
have
a,
another question. Yeah. Julie, were you about to read it? Sorry.
yes. Approximately how long does it take to develop a course once a new employer reaches out? It all depends on the rules of your program as an adult ed program and how quickly you want it. It only took me about 2 months to get things together. Um, but I was working with the company. We met, if not every week, every 2 weeks. And I was researching daily while I was at work and things like that to get it all set up. I am the type of teacher that I like to have as much of my class prepared ahead of time. So I had an outline of what I was going to do, which day, and before once we had the topics, I knew what I was going to be teaching. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have this topic on this day, and we're going to move through it. And so I had a general outline, and then as I was getting information and learning the new things and learning the topics better, I was able to plug those details into my lesson plan. Um, and then within, like I said, about 2 months, I was able to get everything together, had the curriculum together, um, and ran it by Patty to make sure that I was covering everything, ran it by the suitor company, and they were very pleased with it. So it really just depends on who you have working on it and what the parameters are around the rules of your program.
Julie also developed a rubric for the projects, so that gives the company um, the knowledge of all the skills that had to be incorporated in their final project and in all of their quizzes. So the company
Mhm.
does have access to and input in that curriculum and how it
Yes.
was presented. It really helps them understand the expectation from the employees and what kinds of things they should be looking for as far as how they're improving their work, communication, and skills.
Yep. Okay.
As part of the materials, we will provide the maybe the a quick the handouts that we gave at the last workforce summit because I think that it does kind of give programs an idea of how you can approach the employers with ideas and maybe even not all of them are going to be manufacturing facilities, but many of the ones around here are the ones that provide English, a lot of the English language learners, opportunities for work. And
Mhm.
that just happens to be the dynamic in DeKalb County.
All right. I don't see any other questions.
Okay. Kirsten, could you please put your email in the chat or email it to me so that I can email you all of this information, our handouts that we had at the Workforce Summit, as well as the correct version of our PowerPoint that I was supposed to use today. And then for the people who have attended today, you could probably disseminate that much more quickly than I could.
Absolutely, yes. It will all be on our website on the IllinoisWorkforceAcademy.com. I'll put that URL in the chat right now. And then also Illinois WorkNet links to our website as well. So you can
Okay.
find it there too. And it both locations, it will be under Workforce Wednesday webinars. So
Okay.
here is our website. And then that's for everyone. And then Julie, I will private message you my email there. You can copy and
Okay.
paste it.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else have any other questions or comments today for Julie or Patty? You guys were efficient today in your
Yes.
presentation.
I think everybody's trying to get home so they can get out
Get
of
out of the
the
storms.
weather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, we will let everyone go then. We will end early. Please stay safe, whatever area you're at. If you're driving or commuting, make sure you take precautions. And thank you all for joining us today. Have a great summer and a great weekend.
Thank you. One
Thank
thing
you.
before everyone signs off, I will put my email in the chat for everyone. If you think of questions later, please reach out and let me know. If you would let me know you attended this webinar, so I'm not questioning why you're emailing me, that would be great. But I'm happy to answer any questions if something comes up in the next, couple weeks or whatever. So thank you for your time. We
Thank you,
greatly
everyone.
appreciate it.